The rain had already soaked through the thin hospital awning when the CEO stepped out, his phone still glowing with unread emails. He was halfway down the steps when he heard a small voice cut through the noise of traffic and sirens. "Mommy, are we invisible here too?" The words weren't loud, but they landed heavy. He stopped without meaning to, turned, and saw them sitting on the cold concrete near the emergency entrance, a little girl with tangled hair hugging a worn backpack, and a woman wrapped in a faded sweater, trying to smile while her hands shook. Something in the way they waited, not asking, not begging, just hoping, made him sit down instead of walking away. He was the kind of man people moved out of the way for. Daniel Harper, CEO of the largest private hospital network in the state, was used to being recognized, to brisk nods and polished greetings. But here, on the ground beside them, he was just another soaked stranger. The mother noticed him first and stiffened, instinctively pulling her daughter closer. "I'm sorry if we're in the way," she said quickly, eyes darting toward the security doors. "We'll move." Daniel shook his head and sat fully, letting the rain speckle his suit. "You're not in anyone's way," he said softly. "You look like you've been waiting a long time." The girl studied him with serious eyes far older than her years. "Since morning," she answered before her mother could stop her. "Mom says doctors are busy saving lives, so we have to be patient." The mother swallowed hard, embarrassed by the honesty. Her name was Lena, she explained, and the girl was Maya, 7 years old. Maya's younger brother was inside, admitted after a sudden seizure. They'd been told to wait. No room, no update, just wait. Lena had no insurance, no family nearby, and barely enough money for the bus ride home. She didn't say it outright, but the fear sat heavy in every pause. Daniel listened, something he realized he hadn't truly done in years. As CEO, he heard reports and numbers, survival rates and occupancy charts. But this was different. This was one family, one mother counting every breath, one child trying to be brave. When Maya shivered, Daniel slipped off his jacket and draped it around her shoulders. Lena tried to refuse, but he insisted with a gentle smile. "I have another one inside," he said, which was true in the most technical sense. Time moved strangely as they sat there. The rain slowed, then stopped. Cars came and went. Maya talked about school, about how she liked drawing superheroes because they always showed up when people needed them. "Are you a doctor?" she asked Daniel suddenly. He hesitated. "No," he said, "but I work here." She nodded, satisfied. "Then you can help," she said simply, as if it were obvious. Inside the hospital, alarms beeped and stretchers rolled past, but outside, the world felt suspended. Lena finally broke. Her voice cracked as she spoke about losing her husband 2 years earlier, about working nights, about choosing between rent and medicine. She hadn't asked for help because she was tired of being told to wait, tired of feeling small. Daniel felt something tighten in his chest. He thought of his own daughter, grown now, of the nights he'd missed while chasing expansion deals and board approvals. Sitting there, he realized how often he had walked past stories like Lena's without ever stopping. When a nurse finally stepped outside, scanning the area with a clipboard, Daniel stood. "Excuse me," he said, not with authority but with urgency. "I believe this family has been waiting all day." The nurse started to explain procedures, but then recognition dawned. Apologies followed, doors opened, and suddenly everything moved. Lena's son was being transferred to a room. Tests were expedited. A social worker appeared with forms and quiet reassurances. Lena clutched Daniel's arm, tears streaming, unsure whether to thank him or apologize for needing help at all. He stayed longer than he planned. He walked them to the room, sat with Maya while Lena spoke to the doctor, and watched as the boys slept peacefully after medication took effect. When it was time to leave, Maya hugged him tightly. "You're a superhero," she whispered. Daniel smiled, but his eyes burned. "No," he said, "I just sat down." Weeks later, policies changed. A new patient assistance desk was placed right at the entrance. Waiting protocols were revised. Staff were trained not just to treat symptoms, but to see people. Daniel didn't announce the reason. He didn't need to. Every so often, he'd step outside and sit for a moment, just in case someone was waiting. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing a person in charge can do isn't to walk faster or look higher, but to stop, sit down, and remind someone they're not invisible.